The 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup is upon us, with 32 teams battling it out for the chance to reach the final on August 20 in Sydney, Australia. The 9th edition of the tournament will see one team join the list of former winners who have played out a series of memorable finals since the very first showpiece in 1991. We take a look at the previous winners of the tournament 1991 to 2019. 1991 USA take first title. The first Women's World Cup final took place at a packed Tianhe Stadium in Guangzhou, China. A brace from Michelle Akers-Stahl helped the United States to a historic 2-1 win over Norway to become the first women's world champions. 1995 Norway go one better. Norway would get their revenge against the USA 4 years later, courtesy of a 1-0 semi-final win, earning them a place in the final against Germany. The Rosunda Stadium in Solna, Sweden was the venue as goals from Hege Riise and Marianne Pedersen secured victory for the Norwegians. 1995 Norway go one better. Norway would get their revenge against the USA 4 years later, courtesy of a 1-0 semi-final win, earning them a place in the final against Germany. The Rosunda Stadium in Solna, Sweden was the venue as goals from Hege Riise and Marianne Pedersen secured victory for the Norwegians. 2003 Germany's Golden Girls. China was set to host the first tournament of the new millennium, but a severe outbreak of SARS saw the host nation switch to America. The hosts couldn't repeat their heroics of 4 years earlier, however, and were beaten by a rampant Germany side who met Sweden in the final. Despite having won all their matches leading to the final, the Germans had to come from behind after the Swedes took the lead, ultimately requiring extra time where Nia Kunzer netted the golden goal to secure the trophy. 2007 back-to-back German glory. The tournament finally arrived in China 4 years later, and the Hankou Football Stadium in Shanghai saw South America's first ever representatives in the final. An impressive Brazil stormed through the competition but fell at the final hurdle when they came up against the defending champions. 2011 Japan shocked the world. The 6th Women's World Cup was held in Germany, and following China's efforts in 2009, saw Asia's second-ever finalists in Japan who, against all odds, found themselves in the final in Frankfurt against the USA. Alex Morgan's goal looked to have set the U.S. on their way to a third title until Aya Miyama forced extra time. Abby Wambach's header put the favorites in front again, but Homer Sawa's equalizer sent the game to penalties. 2015 Lloyd lights up the final with Wonderstrike. 4 years later in Canada, the two teams would meet again, but the Americans set about denying their opponents any chance of another upset as a Carly Lloyd brace and a goal from Lauren Holiday made it 3-0 inside 14 minutes. Lloyd then sealed her hat-trick with one of the most remarkable goals in any World Cup final, beating Japanese keeper Ayumi Kaihori with a stunning lob from the halfway line. 2019 Dutch no match for four. The USA made it to a third successive final and a fifth ever in France at the Parc Olympique Lyonnais, where they came up against a spirited Netherlands who had been crowned European champions 2 years earlier. However, despite keeping their opponents at bay for much of the match, the Dutch were ultimately undone by a penalty converted by Megan Rapinoe before Rose Lavelle wrapped up a 2-0 win and a fourth World Cup with a fantastic solo effort.